Hello everyone, a warm welcome to TGIF for yet another exciting episode. Agentic AI is the latest buzzword, and along with that comes agent tooling and MCP, the Model Context Protocol, which is making a lot of noise for AI developers out there. To explore more on how agentic AI can be combined with MCP, I have Satish Kamalchand, who is from the Global Black Belt team. He leads AI transformation for customers by working with them on their AI use cases and making them production grade. So, Satish, what's with MCP and agentic AI together?
Yeah, that's a great question, Divya. Now, to begin with, right, agentic AI is the next step in terms of using generative AI in applications. From conversational chatbots, we now want specific task-oriented agents, right? But one of the things is agents cannot work in isolation. They need to access tools, various tools, your existing capabilities within the enterprise. And a lot of enterprises have a wide array of tools, wide range of tools. That's where MCP emerged as a standard. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, created by Anthropic in the year 2024. That is last year. It is open standard now, open source. It's being adopted widely by developers. And what it tries to solve for is it tries to bring uniformity in how agents are able to discover and then invoke the existing capabilities of an enterprise. Let's look at how that architecture would look like. As we know, agents rely on LLMs for reasoning. LLMs, the generative AI aspect in the agent. Now, we also then provide specific instructions for agents in terms of what is the objective that they need to achieve. And the agents will have to connect with existing tools of an enterprise or tools which are available externally, right? Now, because there is some of the tools might be REST API based, some may be call to data sources, some may be offering a message based interface. Without a standard protocol like MCP, there would be a lot of, let's say, custom coding implementation or something equivalent to function calling code that will have to be built in every agent, which will make the implementation very complex. That's where bringing a standard like Model Context Protocol to make tool discovery and invocation simpler is the value that MCP brings.
And what I understand also is Azure as an ecosystem, we have API Gateway. Recently has announced the support for MCP. So, can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, that's a great point. Now, as you're aware, Divya, and we have discussed this before as well, that Azure API management is now being used extensively by multiple large enterprises as an AI gateway. Now, considering its usage, the product team within Microsoft started implementing capabilities related to MCP in Azure API management. So there are two major capabilities that we are looking at. Now, a lot of enterprises have built a lot of capabilities as the REST APIs, and they are implementing Azure API management as their core API gateway.
Mhm.
So the first capability that I want to talk about is within Azure API management, we can convert an existing REST API into an MCP server. And the second capability is if there is an existing MCP server, Azure API management can add a layer of security on top of it.
Got it. Got it. So, can we see a quick demo on this, Satish?
We now have an MCP server capability. You see that this is currently in public preview stage, but we are expecting this to go live pretty soon. Now, as I stated earlier, there are lots of APIs that enterprises expose or they expose via the Azure API Management Gateway. We now provide the ability to convert an existing API into an MCP server. So I can expose an existing API as an MCP server. I've already built that. Let me quickly show that to you. Now, an existing API getting converted into MCP server would mean that the REST API operations that I have, I can expose them as MCP tools. Not only that, I can also add policies specific to my MCP tool. So if, for example, I want to rate limit the number of calls that I want to make, I can do that in the API gateway. Let's run a quick test. So this is an MCP inspector client. I have connected to my MCP server wrapper that I've built in Azure API Management on top of my existing API. And then I'm listing all the tools. So let's run a quick test, right? So here I have a bunch of REST API operations that I'm exposing by via Azure API Management. So if we don't use Azure API Management, we would be building a custom application, deploying that in a functions or a Kubernetes cluster. Here, an existing REST API, just by a click of a button, I am able to create an MCP server on top. And now I'm able to invoke that tool and get a response. So this particular, let me run one more test. So this particular order could not be found. Let me run another operation. So basically, as you can see, I am able to convert my existing capabilities into an MCP tool very easily using Azure API Management.
Wonderful. I think this is pretty easy for anybody who wants to either create new MCP servers or onboard existing MCP servers or APIs as MCP servers into their overall tooling ecosystem. So thank you so much, Satish, for the demo. I understand that there are a lot more capabilities that APM offers. So we are going to quickly cover that in the next session. So stay tuned for the next session. For now, thank you so much for being there with us on TGIF. And thank you so much, Satish, for such a wonderful demo. So until then, signing off. Bye bye.